The meeting for Saturday, March 10th, 2012, wxlive.us with me and Andy, guys. We are here with Fredy, webinar number 14.
Morning.
And he is going to talk
Morning,
about
everybody.
some of his tricks.
Yes.
Okay,
sounds
so
good.
it's all yours. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to be
perfect.
quiet now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good morning, everybody. Here from Colombia today, and in a few weeks talking again from Spain. Okay. Today we will talk about some tricks in WebDev. WebDev have some complications comparing with WinDev because the server and browser code. Okay, I will show, for example, a little application. Later I blow to the Arnold. Okay, in order to put in the. Okay, this is a little application. For example, I show you this type of validation. For example, these two fields are mandatory, but for example, I will let in without information. When I click the tabulation, for example, you show this code. Are you see the error message?
Yeah. Hey, why did you pick Pompano Beach, man?
Bueno, I live in Pompano Beach too. And maybe the next week I will be in Pompano. When in Pompano live my mother and my daughter, daughter, okay, live in Pompano Beach.
Interesting, huh, Andy?
Okay, and now in this field, I click the tab, and when I put the information, for example, LA, it's okay. Yeah? This is one type of validation I show you how to do. And the other type of validation, very usual in the WebDev, is, for example, this type of validation. I need to find some code, okay? And when the user, for example, open the page and click a validate button, but no enter any information, I obligate to the user to show selecting a city, for example. Okay, validate, and you have the code. Are you seeing? Yes? Okay. Now I will explain how to do that. We'll open the page form city. And the trick that I use is the little cell. Inside that cell, I put a graphic and a message. Okay, but this cell have a no display. Here in detail, we are not visible. Are you seeing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I put a code. Well, you can use a procedure too, but I put the code in two little fields. Not necessarily. I use a procedure. Okay. The little code you need to put in a control exit. Okay. And I ask if no space, okay? This information is in order to put a cell above the field that had the error. That's right. And
So the
if
top
this
right corner or something, right?
yes, that's right. And then if to relocate the cursor in the field with trouble, so with error for validation, it's very little code. Right? Are you using myself? Is referring to the himself field that we are located on in that moment. That's right. Okay.
Okay.
This is the cell. The cell is named burbuja. In English is bubble. Okay. And the G and X axis and put this little formula you need to adapt to your own necessities. That's right, because for example your cell maybe is bigger, little, whatever, and use this STC aviso, is STC message. Okay, the message that I put in that little message, no? And if the field is not empty, yes, I put again visible in false, because I don't need to see that the screen. Only I like to see that screen in case of error. That's right.
So I can actually create
Okay.
a class out of this then, right?
I know.
And
Yes,
just
and many
pass the
things that
message
you.
and
Yes. Yes.
okay.
This is you can use very different approaches. In this presentation, I showed the most easiest approach. That right, but you can do procedural classes or super control, many options. Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I show you again. This is the cell. Okay. Inside the cell, I put this little image. Okay, little image, and inside the little image I put a message with the field STC aviso. Remember, STC aviso
Right.
is in English is STC static control message. That's right. Okay,
Right.
and in the other field I do the same. Okay, the same, well, the other thing and other message. But remember, you can do the in other way. Okay. I show you again. If I click a tab with a blank field, I get error. Okay, and you show this above of the error. Okay, it's very nice to the user to see the exact field that have the trouble. Okay, very nice.
So that's why you did 120, so you could move it up that much.
Yes, of course. For example,
Yeah.
you show that this is in another position. Okay,
Yep.
it's very nice feature and not too difficult to implement. That's right. Okay, read on. The other type of validation here is very useful and very needed in a web dev application. The main problem with I have between server and browser code is that in browser code I can execute any file finding, file operations, or file. No, you can't. Okay, because the behavior of a browser code. Okay, and you need to do some tricks. The trick that I use frequently is to put a server button that executes the code. For example, here, if a cell is open, is is blank, for example, I call a page dialog, page display dialog with parameters or with information that I need. Okay, I like very much page displays dialog because you don't lost the context of your page. The main problem working with WebDev is that when you call, for example, other page and and that page call another page and then another page, the context normally lost. Okay, when you make a return, you are lost because remember that when I open the page, it's like in Windows, I running another executable. That's right, and you lost the information of the context where you located. It's very difficult. But when
Because
you
you're
use a
talking
page
about
display, what?
Freddy. So you're
Yes,
talking
yes.
about the concept of sessions, right?
Uh-huh.
Like from page
Okay.
to page, they're
Mhm.
not the same. They're not connected.
That yes, of course. The other nice feature of a page display dialog is that he put on top, okay? And when putting on top is like a mobile window in Windows, that's right? It's very useful because you obligate, it's mandatory to the user to select only in that page. For example, I'm clicking outside of that page, is not nothing. That's right. And it's mandatory to the user to select that I want okay? In this case, the city, for example. Okay, take aquí Hillborough. Okay, validate, and go back to my screen. As you see, the advantage of usar page display dialog is very useful than the typical opening a page display and another page, the finding page, for example, at a city. That's right? Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
And
Freddie.
now,
Freddie.
yes,
So,
yes,
I know right there you're saving you're showing number 2, which is the system ID, right? And you show Hillsborough on the right. Could
yes.
you put displayed Hillsborough even
Okay,
though you're
yes, let me show you the code. Okay,
okay?
and now we are opening the page form. That's right. For example, I like to validate here. When I click the validate button, I have a code here. The code is I check if city ID is equal to 0. That's right. If it's equal to 0, it's because the user don't put any information in that field. That's right. And I do an execute process button find. I'll show you an button find. And tire click. O sea, is emulating like the user click over the button find. That's right. Okay. Okay, we'll show the button find. The button find, what have button find? Button find is page display dialog, and ADT city ID is the field that you see in the screen, and STZ static control city name is a city name. That's right. And when I open the screen, when I open the screen here, code, page code, I use the same. I check in the initialization page. I use it. If customer dot new record equal to false, it's equivalent to are you modifying the record? That's right. I use h read seek first with the parameters, and the field stc city name is a city name. That's right. Okay. Of my cell phone here. Okay. Okay. This is all the code that you need in order when you use modifying. Yes. For example, let me show again. Remember, when you need to validate info, validating, reading a table or whatever, you need a server code. The very easy trick is put a button, and that button will display, will visible in false, and the code you put in there. And in the browser code, you call execute process button, and you do all that you need. Okay. Now, for example, let me check John Smith, modifier, and you see the was complete. Are you see? Okay.
Okay.
Dudes, a very other thing that I will show. Normally, on some type of screens, you need to remember all situation or all context that you need. I will show you another project. I open a project. If you use page display dialog, you don't lost, but if you use page display dialog, normally you can lose the context of the variables. Let me show you when can
So, Fredy, what are you going to show us now?
I will show the other typical problem that we have when validating server code. Okay.
Okay.
It's a real application. It's my real application, and that code, if you like, I can send it to you. Okay.
And you're not the only one that uses stars.
Yes, this is a very problem here in my place because my internet is broken and I need to go to one of my customers. And many people here today Saturday.
Ah.
This is a typical screen. For example, I like to find some patient, okay, the button, select physician, then the agenda. Right? This is a typical dating schedule, a decision schedule, okay? But when I try to assign the schedule, I use the button assign. We have some problem. This is the form. It's another page that I need to call in order to put the code, the telephone, the type of service, and whatever. But when the users save and come back, we have a problem. The information of my screen is lost. Okay, all that type of information lost. The physician selected, date selected, and a patient selected. Right? The trick is
So
to
you
use.
have so that's
Okay.
why you had an empty record.
Okay, empty record. That's right. When I come back to the browse, the table control, all are empty. That's right. And I show you what type of info we need to do. The screen, okay, the screen that right. And the trick that I use is this very powerful instruction here. When I open the screen, I use that code. Code is LocalStorageGet. LocalStorageGet, I do instruction LocalStorage add to save the variable that I need to refresh or to have in memory. Yes, when I come back to my
Oh,
screen. Okay.
so you're reading the variable in from the form and setting it for the
That's right. That's right.
browse variables. Okay.
The very useful of that instruction is that you can save all type of variables locally in the machine of the customer or the client. That's right, in the browser client. That's right. This is a local, and you have a option in order to have a. Let me remember the word. Um, I don't remember the word in English now. Local storage get, you can use two options: is persistent or not persistent. That's right. I use not persistent because not persistent, when the user again open the application, the variable, the values of the variable are lost. That's right. If you use persistent, all time is persistent. Very useful, for example, for selected query from the user. Is very useful to the user that the next time that open the application, the application remember all for example, the type of query, the type of information, or whatever. It's like put a cookie or something. That's right. It's very useful. I use not persistent. Okay, this is the difference between persistent or not persistent. And I save the variables when I select. Let me show you. Okay. In the browser code, when the user click the button to assign the schedule, I say the local storage add and persistent false. Are you seeing? When the form return to the table control, all information are lost because every page that I open lost all information. That's right. Then, when I open the table control, the page where I have the table control, I use local storage get. This is the very useful instruction and very powerful because have many features that you can use in your application. That's right.
So,
Are you understood the instruction?
Fredy, no, let me try and get clear about this. You use local storage add and local storage get, and you do the
That's
get
right.
when you come back from the form.
Yes, because when I come back to the form, WebDev lost the context normally.
Okay,
Okay,
but I
entonces
don't understand
I
when
need.
you do the local storage add. Why are you doing that? That's
Okay. Let me I show you. Let me show you again. Okay. The information. Are you see? I remember all the information that I have. Remember?
yeah.
When I put this button in
Right.
the browser code, I save what variables? This, this, and this. Okay.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Okay. When I
Yeah.
open again, o sea, come back from the browser, here, for example, when I come back to the browser, now I
So
will
you're doing
save.
that with a
Wait.
so you're doing that with a button rather than
Okay, and let me I show you in
automatically.
the yes, in the button automatically. Yeah, let me I show you. This is the button as assigned Spanish, right? Now in the
Right.
click in browser code, I put the local storage add. That's right. Obviously, if I have a patient, if the patient is if the status available, or this, okay, and in the when I open, okay, the the table control browser code here, open or come back to the data screen. You see, when I come use a key code, paste code, and I read the information here. Unload. Have you seen that this is a browser code? It is unload the page. I use, if that field is in blank, okay, load local storage get the variable that I need to show. And then execute the process because I need to update all the information. Is finding the patient, finding the physician, and well, finding and validating all the stuff of things. That's right.
Oh, I get it. It's on the server side you do a set basically, and this side you do a get on the browser
That's
side.
right. That's right. Because in the
Okay.
browser code, I can use whatever instruction that use files I can use. That's right. So the trick is to put a button. I have the button here. The button is this is the button, but this button is invisible. And in that button, I have the information that I need. For example, I execute the query, table display, function to validate, info about patient, well, and other stuff that I need. That's right. You see?
Yeah, so you actually put hidden code in there by putting a button that's hidden?
That's right, because it's the only way to can in browser code execute code that need to validate some field, execute some queries or wherever. Well, other option is to just execute is another option. But directly, you can use a table or functions or whatever that need server information directly you can't use in a browser code. That's right. So the easy tricky is to put a button, a server button. I show you again. Server code, how you see? Server
Yeah.
code, and put the validation like in that case, for example, execute query. That information is a function to seek a patient field validate if the state is okay or not is okay, when another information. That's right. The easy trick is to put a button, an invisible button with all the server code that you need. And
But what is
in the browser code, you only need to do a execute. Let me show you again. Here. Uh, Execute process
Oh, okay. So the
button
browser
and
code calls
server.
that invisible button.
Yes, that's right, that's right. And
Ah,
this is a
gotcha.
tricky, okay? Because,
All right.
for example, you can use age read. Yes, you have error immediately. That's right, because you can use commands to open files, read files, nothing. Okay.
So, Freddie,
Yes, of
in
course.
Clarion where we have like a routine, could that code that you do, is there such a concept of a routine and just calling that
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, it
same
is
thing?
like a routine. That's right. Yes. Okay.
Okay. But that's the
Okay.
way you normally do things in WebDev is put a button and actually that's your routine?
Yes, that's right. That's right. You can use that. The other trick is you can use is the Ajax execute. Is another option that you can do. Okay, but I use Ajax execute only, for example, to functions to validate. I only used to do that, but you can use to other option too. Obviously, that's right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I will put that code in the little example that I showed you a few minutes ago, okay? In order that
Okay.
you have that information and you can explore other options with the example, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Some questions?
Oh, if you guys have questions, raise your hand, or, oh, you can't raise your hands. Type it in the Skype.
That's right. Okay.
Any questions?
Any question, buddy?
No questions.
Okay. Bueno, hi everybody. Thank you. Webinar participation. Have a nice weekend. Okay.
Okay,
Bye
thank you
bye.
so much.
Have a
Bye
nice
now.
day. Okay. Thank you so much to you. Okay.